Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Alhamdulillah, our parallel sessions have run smoothly in all platforms. Well done, presenters and moderators. Thanks to the audience and our technical team as well. Now, it's time for us to enjoy the forum with our amazing speakers discussing on a very interesting topic. For that, I shall pass the floor to the moderator, Dr. Haida Umira Hashim. The screen is yours, Doctor.
Thank you so much, dearest MC. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good day and salam Malaysia Madani to our panelists here and our fellow audiences. Right, so we are currently streaming live via APB's Facebook Live as well as YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our forum of the day entitled Keeping Up with the Trend, Utilization of Technology and AI in Language Learning Research. I am Haida Umira Hashim and I am the moderator for our forum discussion today. Right, so my personal gratitude to all audiences here with us today. I would like to welcome our amazing panelists. So without further ado, let us get to know our panelists of the day. Our first panelist for today is Professor Dr. Melor Yunus from Faculty Pendidikan. How are you, Prof?
Alhamdulillah.
Great, thank you so much for being here with us, Prof. Next, our second panelist, Associate Professor Technologies, Dr. Syamsul Azlan from the Faculty of Education, UiTM, as well as our Director of Academic Assessment and Evaluation Division. Hi, Doctor.
Hi.
How are you, Doctor? Good?
Good, very good.
Thank you so much for being with us here. And last but not least, our Dr. Karmila Rafiqah, as well as from Faculty of Education, UiTM. Hi, Doctor. Thank you so much for your presence here. All right, everyone, with our topic mentioned today, language learning is evolving rapidly with the advancements of technology and artificial intelligence. So today we have a diverse group of experts, I would say, and enthusiasts to delve into the current trends, challenges, and opportunities in this dynamic field. So in today's forum, we'll be discussing the current trends in technology and AI for language learning, as well as we'll explore the effectiveness, address ethical considerations, and envision the future developments. Okay, so shall we begin? Our panelists ready? Right, okay, great. So my very first question for Prof. Melor would be, Prof, what would you consider the latest trends in utilizing technology and AI for language learning research? And in what ways are they reshaping traditional approaches?
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon to all. First of all, I would like to thank UiTM for inviting me for this forum, e-forum I would say. Okay, thank you Dr. Haida for being the moderator, and we do have great speaker here, Dr. Syamsul and Dr. Karmila. Okay, when we talk about technology in language learning, before we go into artificial intelligence, okay, I think the speaker here is from 3 different generations. I am the baby boomers, and Dr. Syamsul is from, I would say, range 40.
40, yes.
Okay, I mean, I'm guessing only. I'm guessing. And Dr. Karmila is very young, the young generation. So we can see we will discuss in the different perspective. Okay, as baby boomers, and I was a learner myself, and also as a teacher, a facilitator, and a lecturer later. Okay, I can see the changes in the trend of language learning in terms of technology, now artificial intelligence. Starting from, I started teaching in 1980s, okay, we started using transparencies, OHP, and then we moved to PowerPoint, and then we go computer assisted language learning, and then we go towards mobile learning, and then the use of WhatsApp, Telegram, now Kahoot, quizzes. Now, all of a sudden, last year, December 2022, started ChatGPT. So along the way, starting from 1980s until now, being baby boomers, people might say that I have that assumption that no, technology is kind of like, no, I'm not going to do it. But I think as teachers, facilitators, we have to move. We have to transform our teaching and learning towards the new current emerging technologies. So when we talk about artificial intelligence here, I think I would like to mention ChatGPT. Okay, I think ChatGPT everybody knows. I think starting is a whole hard things in December 2022. So what we did is the first, because it's something new, we need to explore. So I started my classes with ChatGPT. Okay, whether we like it or not, the technology is there. Whether we like it or not, we cannot divert ourselves from technology. So we have to use it. So we have to make friends with technology. We have to leverage technology in our teaching and learning. So artificial intelligence, we can, for example, like ChatGPT. For example, we have this diversity of learners. So there are if we look at our learners, they have different ways of learning, okay, different ways of learning, and they have different ways of thinking. So we can use this ChatGPT, for example, in terms of writing. I'm teaching of writing. So in terms of, they do have this writer's block. So ChatGPT could help them in terms of to get ideas, to get information. So I think ChatGPT is only a tool. Artificial intelligence is like a tool, okay? So they can use that tools in order to enhance their language learning. Okay, that's ChatGPT. Number 2, gamification. We talk about gamification. We have to make learning fun and meaningful. So we have to break down the 4 walls of the classroom. So I think using gamification, using artificial intelligence in the gamification, it could help students to learn better. For example, they like to learn via games. I think the expert in terms of gamification is our dear Dr. Karmila. So if you like to know more about gamification, will be Dr. Karmila's papers, which you can Google in Google Scholar. I think she has more than 30 papers on gamification. And the third one is when we talk about AI, generative AI intelligence also, we can talk about virtual reality and augmented reality. Okay, when we talk about virtual reality, sometimes if you look at the CIFA syllabus, they are more on international scenario. So we cannot bring them. For example, we're going to talk about Halloween. We're going to talk about Patrick's Day, okay, snow, okay. We cannot bring them there. So what we can do is we bring the scenario inside our classroom via virtual reality or augmented reality. So those can help them with the cultural, can help with the language learning, can help them with the vocabulary and so on. And I think it could help. So if you want to know more about augmented reality, this is the person. Okay, Dr. Haida herself has written a lot. I think again more than 20-30 articles on augmented reality. In fact, you have a book as well, right? Coming in press in terms of augmented reality. So I think we have touched 3. And number 4 is in terms of chat box. Okay, chat box. As I said just now, we have to break the 4 walls of the classroom. And if the student keep on asking the same question, you might get bored to answer. Frequent asked questions. So chatbot could help. I mean, a very good example of chatbox is in Asia, Mr. Bo. Mr. Bo in Asia, I think everybody knows about it, right? So, I mean, everybody can fly, so everybody can know about Mr. Bo. So Mr. Bo is a chat box. So you ask question, Mr. Bo would answer. Yeah. So in other words, it's not so much of there is a person answering your question. It is the artificial intelligence behind it. Yeah. Okay, where they match the analysis or not at the data. So match with the questions and the answer. And number 5, I think I go very quickly here because being the first speaker, we have to put the scenario, the context there. And number 5, I think is in terms of data and analytics, whereby if you know that, have you tried Google, for example, applying for tickets, booking hotels, for example, and all of a sudden in your Facebook, in the Instagram, it's running.
Algorithms, right?
Algorithm, that's the word. Yeah, algorithm. It's coming to you. So you are looking for artificial intelligence. All of a sudden, since yesterday, 2 days ago, it's coming inside my Facebook and Instagram about artificial intelligence. So I think that helps in terms of the advantage of artificial intelligence. So I would say that we teachers, we lecturers have to really use all these generative artificial intelligence to improve, to enhance our language learning, teaching and learning, I would say.
Right, true, Prof. I agree. Meaning that, when it comes to us being a lecturer and educator, we have to make use and leverage technology. Now, that being said, right, Associate Professor Dr. Syamsul, when we discuss upon the issue of teaching and learning, as well as especially research or conducting research, with the incorporation of AI and technology, in your opinion, there are some concerns. So, what are some ethical concerns arise, in your opinion, that would, pop up or rise when it comes to when we mention about technology and AI?
Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you, Dr. Haidia. Thank you, Prof. Melor, because of you are putting things into the perspective. Because of I do believe that when we talk about ethical issue, in the perspective of academic integrity, and normally we're talking about plagiarism, fabrication, false information, and whatnot, and I think that this one is quite common because we are facing this for quite many years because of this core issue and core problem in education. And I do believe that somehow we come into the perspective because of when something new invented, for example AI, and we assume that this one is a new issue. But from my perspective, it's not a new issue. It's just a matter of how we address, because of every technology have their own preference, and you have to come up with a different solution. And I think that most of us, maybe for the lecturers or teachers or maybe students who are not familiar with the AI, they come into the perspective that may be positive, maybe negative. At the end of the day, I do believe that it must be come up with how can we plan for the awareness program, how to make sure that all the students, maybe all the lecturers or educators understand how to use the AI, and then come up with a proper training and let them to understand how to go and how to do it. But certainly, based on my current research, looking at on the perspective and even how many the educators that really understand on how to use AI, not so impressive, because most of it is more towards on perspective, more on perception. I think that if you want to build maybe a policy on regards of ethical issue and whatnot, the first number one is the lecturers or the educators or maybe the students have to understand first the system, the ecosystem of the AI, and then they can give a proper input. And I think that other than that, we also need to believe that AI is just a tools. How can we train our brain to make sure that when the technology becomes so sophisticated, our brains should be functioning more advanced rather than
technology
AI,
itself.
rather than technology itself. So meaning that you still have to make sure that you use the sub-intellectual thinking, analysis, evaluating on the information, and after that you need to really justify and create the solution. At the end of the day, you yourself, right? You yourself. That's for me.
Yeah, I agree. I think, there's always two sides of the coin, regardless of whether we have technology or not. Always, problems will always come.
Yes.
There's always problems and constraints, right?
Because we are talking about AI since 1950.
Right, it's not new. It's just a matter
It's
of
not
upgrading it.
that,
Yeah,
it's not
yeah.
that new. But the time evolved and the technology evolved, and now
Getting more advanced. Right, the time evolves with the new generations as well.
Exactly.
Right, thank you so much, Dr. Syamsul. I couldn't agree more. Now, certainly, Dr. Karmila, since technology, we're talking about technology and the involvement of technology, in your opinion, how has the user's experience in language learning been enhanced or hindered with the integration of technology and AI?
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much, UiTM. Okay, based on experience, I'm talking about from the perspective of a user myself. Okay, I think that AI has actually enhanced our language learning by, I would say, self-paced learning, personalized learning. Because I'm throwing in big words, seamless learning, but these are all actually helpful for me. Because personally, when I was doing my masters, I was actually taking the train, okay, from Seremban to UKM. Okay, I did my masters in UKM. And I believe that I personally use my phone to read articles, okay, during the transition between one train to another train, right? Okay, something like that. So because of that, I think that it helps me a lot. It helps a lot, and it also helps in self-paced learning. Okay. Aside from that, I would say that using technology has actually made life easier. I would say made life easier, especially because I am very. I would say I use Mendeley a lot. Okay, for my thesis, and then I think it helps a lot because when you are writing a 400 pages paper or thesis, okay, it's very difficult for you to organize your references. So I use Mendeley. Okay, we can also use NVivo and so on. Sorry, so not NVivo, it's EndNote. EndNote, yeah. NVivo is another software. Okay. Yeah, but then it also hinders actually. AI and technological tool also hinders our creativity. Because when we depend too much on AI or technology, we tend to forget that we actually have creativity in ourselves. Especially when writing papers, when we depend too much on AI, you can see the pattern, okay, the pattern over and over again. So yeah, that's for me.
Yeah, again, two sides of the coin. It's always about us, right? Individual itself, whether we depending on technology or we make use of or leveraging technology itself, right? Great. So, Prof, now you yourself mentioned that we have different level of experience, I would say. Yeah. So now, with your experience and journey being a lecturer, how effective do you think AI-driven language learning tools are in comparison to conventional methods?
Simple question, but because I'm a avid user of technology in terms of teaching and learning, so if you want to know me, there are more than 500 articles in the Google Scholar about technology and teaching and learning in the Google Scholar under my name. So I would say I do believe in terms of technology can enhance language learning. However, we have to take everything with a pinch of salt. So although it could help, but do not forget us as the role being a lecturer, a role as a facilitator, whereby we are the one who guide, we are the one who instruct, we are the one who design the learning for our students. So we are the one who knows our student. So whether which artificial intelligence tools that we need to use inside our classroom, we, the teacher. So how do we know that? Is number one, first of all we need to know the student's background, the level of the language, okay, and so I think we match, because we know again, right, pyramid of learning. Students learn better either by reading, by listening, by doing, by experiencing, by fun, by gamification, by teaching others. So this all I think these all steps or levels of learning, we need to understand which learners, and we have to bear in mind also students have schemata behind of them. They come to the class not from zero. They have their background, their schemata. So what the importance of being a lecturer is how we connect those points, those ideas, those knowledge with the tools of with the help of the tools of artificial intelligence to enhance their language learning. So that brings back the idea of ZPD, the triangle. Okay, the tools are the zone, yes, zone of proximal, yes, right, the ZPD. So that's everything. All the theories comes in. So I think in terms to use or not to use artificial intelligence tools is the teacher herself got to design. The teacher got to create her own classroom. Because for me, I use Kahoot in my teaching of writing class to see whether do they read the content that I have uploaded in the iFolio, for example, and LMS. So we have quick questions beginning of the class, and apart from that we can take attendance as well. Okay, so that could help as well. And then but I think the most important thing is whatever comes in, whatever artificial intelligence that comes in along your way, the role of teachers cannot be neglected. Okay, all right. So meaning that we are the one who design the classroom. We are the one who knows the student. The istilah guru, is it Mahaguru? Guru is still there, is still relevant, no matter what. I think with that, we have to take it positively. Okay, but I have to add one thing to Dr. Syamsul and Dr. Karmila in terms of plagiarism. Yes, I think I need to emphasize that so when we give assignments, the tendency for students to copy paste from ChatGPT is very high. Okay, it is very high. So what we can do as teachers, teachers or lecturers, what we can do is we need to see the process rather than evaluate the outcome.
Correct.
So in other words, we need to use somehow the debriefing tactics or approach along the way to see whether do they plagiarize from ChatGPT or not, because only us who knows whether the student can master the knowledge or they just remember or get it from ChatGPT. So I think again the teacher have to sharpen the knowledge, to sharpen the skills in terms of, for example, debriefing, for example, approach for them to know, for them to hinder student to plagiarize, because when we mark, we know exactly, we teachers we know, we lecturers we know it is from ChatGPT. Because obviously because it's not connected, disjointed, there is no coherence, there is no coherence, and it's kind of like here and there the ideas. Then when we ask them to present, okay, they couldn't elaborate more. So we can see that the mastery of learning is not there. So they don't make it. We don't want students to have it only memorized. If we look at Bloom taxonomy, we want them to go beyond, analyze, comparative, evaluate. The most important is to create. And then back to Dr. Karmila's point of view just now in terms of writing, for example, writing article or essay, I think we want them to have their voice. So we want them to synthesize. ChatGPT couldn't do that. They can give ideas, but the voice is not there. So that's how we know the students plagiarize or not. Oh, it's a long answer.
Right, that was a very thorough one. But I guess it's safe to say that being lecturers or educators, we have to be one step ahead from the technology, right? I would rather say it that way. Right. So that is Prof. Melor's perspective. Now, Dr. Karmila, being a young lecturer with a doctorate yourself, right, and as well as in the generation of technology and AI, right? What would some of the challenges that educators and perhaps learners, you yourself as one, face when adopting AI in language learning, and what strategies or solutions that could help to overcome these obstacles?
Okay, that's a very long question, but
two in one.
Two in one. So I'm going to talk about, I think I'm going to start with educators' challenges, and then the solution,
how do we solve it,
and then learners, challenges and solutions. So, okay, based on my perspective as an educator, I would say that educators, the challenge is in terms of knowing what to use, okay? Now, which tool to use, just like what Prof mentioned just now. There are a lot of technological tools out there, and AI is one of them. And we as educators, we might not know how to integrate the AI element in our language learning and teaching and learning. Because when we talk about AI actually does everything for us. It does the thinking for us, right? But that is where the problem comes in, the challenge comes in. Because if we were to ask teachers to use AI, they tend to use it and then they do not know how to control. I think that is the term there, not knowing how to control and how to apply or adapt and adopt in language classrooms. So I think one of the solution has been given by Prof also. Yeah, Prof mentioned just now that you need to try and error. I would say try and error, because each student, they have their own I would say abilities, okay, capabilities. The solution for class A might not be the same for class B, so you have to make sure that you know the differences and which tool to use. Sometimes maybe in class A gamification is okay for them, but in class B gamification might not work, right? Okay, so that is from the perspective of educators. From learners, I think the challenge is I would say they are too dependent on AI. Okay, I also agree with Prof earlier. Speaking of what Prof mentioned, that we educators, we actually know, because one of my students, actually speaking from experience as well, one of my students wrote an appreciation letter to me, okay, towards the end of the semester. So he wrote the letter and sent it to me via PDF. So when I read it, I was like, did you write this using ChatGPT? I straight away asked that question without even saying thank you. I feel appreciated. No, no, I don't. because and then you know what he responded? He said, "How do you know?" Then I macam because it's very obvious. We know, okay, we know, and lack of creativity, lack of human voice. I would say, okay, lack of our own voice. So I don't feel appreciated. I asked him to write another letter. But yes, that is where, when students are too dependent, I think that is the challenge. Because when they are too dependent, they do not know how to break free from that particular norm that they have now. So the solution, one of the solution is to try not to rely too much on it. Okay, we have to try, you have to stop. Whenever you start thinking that, oh, I need to write an essay, I have the topic, I must use ChatGPT. Try to stop. Say no. Try to use yourself. Try to write the point by yourself first. And if you are really stuck and not going anywhere, by then ChatGPT would help. Inshallah. Okay, thank you.
I guess to kickstart something would be useful,
Yes,
but to copy and paste, that would be another story, right?
Right,
Yeah, true. Right. So, Dr. Syamsul, again, when it comes to ethical considerations, there are also concerns about breaching of data privacy when it comes to AI, right? So, safe to say that privacy is very important and should be taken seriously. So, Dr. Syamsul, I would like to ask you, and with regards to AI and technology in general, how can users be assured that their data is handled responsibly?
All right, okay. I think that this one is a very crucial issue because of, I think that most of the AI application, they are able to process data. All right, I think that the ChatGPT or even certain application, I think that for the Atlas AI nowadays, they have the AI coding that easily can extract all the verbatim and come up into what we call category things. So
right.
I think that I'm worried on the dependency of the AI, but at the same time we are losing the ability of metacognitive processes. I think that there are a lot of things we need to address because of privacy is not only on the data, but also how do we manage the data from the beginning while we're collecting our data, while we are developing our instrument even, until the end of the process, meaning that how can you illustrate or how do you deliberate all the findings in the forms of maybe something that you can present to the audience. And I think that one of the dangerous things is because of the dependency of the to AI on processing all the data. The students somehow they don't understand on the data. You can test them. You know that whether they are processing the data or not. That's the reason why I do believe that if you want to create maybe certain policy or whatnot, so we need to see in many perspectives, in many angles, because of we are not talking about how does the students or educators use the AI, but also what are the external variables maybe that maybe the disruptors in using AI, and perhaps that on the data privacy, they also need to be very sensitive because of all the data that we're putting in, maybe in certain application become the digital footprint because of we also worry that where they store the data. So for example, if you put maybe a data sheet with a lot of data and you import it into for example ChatGPT, and the ChatGPT start to processing all the data and where they store the data. So we need to learn that because of there are some sort of engineering behind on the AI. So that's the reason why we need to be very careful because of data breaching is there, all right? So, and somehow I'm also quite worried because of we have certain cases that when the student put the data and somehow the data has been used by other parties. So I think that this is something that we need to really look at because of for the time being we are more focused on how to use it. We are not into the extent of how can we prevent, how can we have some sort of monitoring action to make sure that this kind of data issue. Then I think that this data issue is not only taken care by the university, but also I think that in the government maybe. I think that there is some policy, if you refer to the UNESCO, they have that kind of policy. It's just a matter of how can we execute in our context. So I think that it's quite a big issue. We can discuss more, and I think that there are a lot of things about data, right?
Right. Now that's a hint for future researchers out there. Something to think about when it comes to data privacy and breaching of data privacy. Right, great. So it has been a very fruitful discussion, and I believe that when it comes to AI and technology, it will be endless discussion, right? A lot more to dig deeper and whatnot. Right, so before we end our forum today, I would like to ask each one of the panelists today, what potential future developments or advancements do you foresee with the intersection of technology and AI incorporation in language learning research? Maybe Prof would like to go on first.
Future developments. I would say, in short, whatever may come, whatever artificial intelligence tools that comes in, teacher's role. I will emphasize teacher's role. Teacher's role will be still relevant, still important because we are the designer. We design our classroom. So without the teachers' idea or design or instruction, the class will be nowhere. Okay, so teachers still exist. Okay, whatever may come. Right. Okay.
Regardless, teachers will be the facilitators.
The facilitators, yes.
Right. Okay. Dr. Syamsul?
Currently, I'm working so much on learning neuroscience in AI.
Oh,
How does the
neuroscience.
brain functions? I think that how to make sure that our cognitive ability is not totally not rely so much on the technology tool because of there is no one can replace human because of I think that the brain, the beauty of it, still human. And the other part is the predictive analysis. I think that's something.
Predictive, right?
Yeah, I look
right.
forward because of this is something like I interested to because of currently doing so much on data analytics
Data
and also
analytics,
predictive
yeah,
analysis.
predictive, right?
Yeah. I think that with the help of AI, I think that there are many things that we can address in the short time because of in making decision we need to be very precise and concise.
Exactly.
So I think that the predictive analysis is something that good to explore in future.
Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Dr. Karmila?
I think there is a possibility for the integration of AI technology and language learning in the future, especially because now we are moving towards that. Yeah, we cannot run away from AI. Definitely, it's emerging. So I think that one of it will be continuous learning. Okay, using AI for continuous learning, and also probably one day, who knows? Just like Dr. Syamsul, probably one day AI will be able to be contextualized to our personal interests or maybe our personal context. Yeah.
Right, great, awesome. Thank you so much. So I guess we would like to. Okay, great. So maybe can we take Q&A from the audiences? Any questions?
So from
Hold on,
I think that while you are
Yeah, I was searching
getting
for
the
questions,
question,
yeah.
Prof, how does the UKM
Oh yes.
look at this AI and what kind of action that you did that the university have been done to make sure that you
we have a
embrace the
question.
AI, and at the same time also you have maybe certain what we call initiative to make sure that the student also the educator can leverage on it.
Okay, in terms of UiTM, we have this pusat pengajaran. Okay, the teaching center. I think the first of all we make it. What they have done is they give lots of workshops, awareness workshop, how to handle any challenges that we have. I think the awareness of these AI tools is there. I think now people are talking about metaverse,
Yes.
right? So there's a lot of workshop being handled by people like Dr. T.S. Helmi and then Dr. Nur Hafiza. They go into and then spread this new knowledge to us. I think in UiTM we don't have any problem in terms of where to get information, how to go about, because we do have a center that help us with all this. Because anything that comes new, something new, AI tools that comes new, coming to us, I think the center will quickly spread it to us, and then we are aware that what to do and what not to do. Right. Okay.
Interesting.
Right. Okay. So, surprisingly, Prof Melor, being the guest from UiTM, we have a question for you from the audiences. So the question is, Prof, from your point of view, AI tools like ChatGPT and others, can these sustain the students' creativity, especially in writing tasks?
Can sustain or not? Okay. So in terms of artificial intelligence, okay, I would like to look at one of the perspective, which is writer's block. Okay, writer's, because sometimes it doesn't matter whether you are writing an article, you are writing an assignment, or writing your thesis as well. There are times that you are staring at the page.
Writer's block.
Writer's block. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, sometimes up to 2 hours. Okay, so how to help this writer's block? So one of the solution is using the artificial tools, which is, I would say now we are talking about ChatGPT. So we can use ChatGPT, okay, to be used in our assignments or articles. Okay, however, we have to be able to select which one to use, which one not to use. That is our privilege, to know which one to be able to adapt and adopt. Okay, and from there we cannot take it straight away, because if not, for example, that you're writing an article, there will be a third person. So are we going to write Yunus MM, Hashim HH, and we have ChatGPT? Okay, so that's kind of like ethically it's not right. So and then the validity of the paper, okay, is questionable. So I would say yes, you can still use artificial intelligence to help you to get moving, to get going. Okay, so you yourself should have that, you should be able. Here's come the Bloom taxonomy, the third level or the fourth level, how you compare, how you analyze, how you synthesize, and then you come up with how you evaluate that information from ChatGPT, and then you come up with your own, you create your article, your sentences using your own voice. Okay, so in terms of sustain, I think the word is sustain, right? So I think artificial tools, for example ChatGPT, can help you going. Okay, so I think when you have that, it will sustain rather than you give up. Okay, when you start writing and then you don't have any ideas, this writer's block, it can keep you moving. It's a push factor actually. So it could help you, okay, to move on.
But I want to add something, because I give my personal experience. I divide the user into two perspectives. Number one, you are seeking for knowledge. The other person, maybe they are creating maybe a solution. And I always treat AI as a playground and train my brain to ask a very complex questions until I get the gist of information. Meaning that there are 3 skills that are required. The first, number one, how do you curate the information? Because you have a very massive information. I think that when you are doing maybe PhD or master, there are a lot of information to digest. The ability to curate is very crucial.
Right.
Number 2 is how can you articulate? Meaning that you need to select. You need to choose which one the best. And the last part is to optimize all the resources. So meaning that you can use AI in many ways, but I treat AI as a playground. Exercise my brain, use all the Bloom taxonomy, asking a good questions, improve your questions, and I think that if the student use that one as a playground, you also can stimulate a lot of question maybe asked from maybe your internal examiner or external examiner, right? To respond and get the best answer. I think that treat them as a playground, right?
That's right. But yeah, again, that would be reverting back to us being the educators on
Yeah.
how to stimulate our
Yeah.
students, right, to make use of AI as their playground rather than depending on it.
Yeah.
Right. In terms of assessment, Dr. Syamsul, I'm very curious. So when it comes to university's policy,
Yeah.
how would your portfolio yourself cater to that issue?
The university encourage. They always encourage to use
The
AI.
use of AI,
Yeah,
yeah.
correct. We have the policy, even the Senate endorsed on using AI in education in the university. But somehow we need to think two sides. The first, number one, as I mentioned before, how do we prevent? Meaning that same like UKM, we have the awareness program. We are not only focused training the teachers, but also the students how to use it. And I think that the preventive measures need to address, because we need to prepare our students and also our educators. The second part is we call as we need maybe helps in terms of maybe a software to help us to detect, maybe give us some signal. Okay, the student is plagiarized, so we need to do something with the students and bring back the assignment to them and rework on that assignment. Not to punish, but also need to to minimize as possible as we can to make sure that the student not take it lightly on the ethical part.
So again, it's more towards the process of getting the output rather than the output itself when it comes to the students.
We are investing for quite
a number,
on
Quite a
that, because
number.
next year we have the tools not only checking on the plagiarism but also detect on the AI. But we also have for example, assistant, for example, Quillbots, Grammarly, to improve the writing. But at the end of the day, you yourself need to understand how to use it.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, I think in terms of for example, Quillbot and
The students
Grammarly,
nowadays, they are so lucky because they have all of this.
Yes.
yes,
They are.
Yes, they are very lucky. It just
Alright.
depends on how they would like
Yeah.
to optimize the
Correct.
yeah. Right, great. So any last words from Dr. Karmila with regards to our discussion today?
I would just say that no matter what, AI will never replace teachers, because we as teachers, we are the facilitators. We facilitate the use of AI and technology in the classroom. So yeah.
Right, I would agree. Again, I'd like to add on to what Dr. Syamsul has mentioned just now about curating your questions. That would also play a role on how do we ask the right questions to get the right answer.
There are
It
many
depends.
there are many techniques of asking questions, but maybe the student can explore Socratic questioning technique.
Yes, Socratic.
The
yes.
easiest one.
The easiest
Yes,
one.
Yeah, the easiest one.
But it all depends on how we ask
Yeah.
for
That's right.
ChatGPT, for example, right? Techniques and skills. Okay, all right. One more question. Okay, hold on. Okay. One more question. Yeah. Oh, okay. Right. Okay, so this is open to anyone, all of our panelists. What will be the future of the academic world? Will there be any other way of doing PhD or masters after this? Since again, we have no, somehow when it comes to ChatGPT, there are no evidence of students, plagiarizing sometimes. There are no specific evidence on it. So, what is the prediction of the quality of thesis in the future with the help of, with the advancement of AI?
We let the senior to answer.
Yeah,
the
I was
question.
about to say that. I was about to say that.
Okay. Very smart.
Very,
Both of you.
Need to, Prof.
All right. Okay. I will look at this perspective. Okay, the quality of thesis and dissertation, and what's more, that's the hot topics these last 2 days about the quality of PhD. Okay, so how do we know whether they get the ideas or they copy from ChatGPT? I think that's the role of the supervisors. Okay, that's the role number one, supervisors, either main or co-supervisors, and then the internal reader and also the external. Okay, but the most important thing is the two supervisors. Okay, that's the important back to your Socratic what I call it questions. Yes. Okay, so supervisors, because the students are doing research in your area, you know about your area, so somehow you have read whatever ideas in the articles, whatnot. So one way of checking their mastery, their meaningful learning in terms of write-up of the thesis is where during this supervision time, ask them questions. That's come the Socratic questions. We need to see the process. Do not let the student submit the last, for example, the last product. Okay, the final product. Okay, you have to play a very active role as supervisors in hand holding your supervisees. Okay, so along the way, you know that the students have copied. Okay, when you ask question, they can answer on the surface only. When you ask deeper question, they cannot answer. Okay, they memorize, for example, especially when we have huge numbers of international students. Okay, so we supervisors, we have to sharpen our skills. Okay, we cannot let them go. We have to scaffold them. We need to handhold them. We need to supervise them. So the role of supervision is very important in terms of to guide them. Okay, so when we have these sessions, so when we ask questions, definitely either you are novice supervisors or you're extremely senior supervisors, you know, because that's your area. Okay, you know whether the students copy from ChatGPT or not. Okay, so students, I warn you, we supervisors do know, okay, whether you copy from ChatGPT or not.
Right, great. Okay, before we wrap up, I think this one question, particular one for Dr. Syamsul. Ready, Dr. Syamsul? Ready? Ready, Dr. Syamsul? Okay. Dr. Syamsul, quoting this audience, if university supports AI technology, is there any plan for the university to subscribe ChatGPT 4.0 for UiTM staff? Tricky one.
For the time being, we are not discussing about it, but we are discussing about how can we purchasing the preventive application tools.
Yes, that's the most
the most important one, because of I think that AI is not only ChatGPT. We have many more. I think that at the end of the day, how can we really monitor in the terms of when the students submit their final work, that system able to detect the plagiarism and also the AI things. So I think that currently the university working on it. Just waiting for good news somewhere on January. Somewhere on January.
Waiting for the budget.
We already got the budget, Prof.
Budget. Right. That's great.
In the process of purchasing, and hopefully by January and February we can use that application.
So you're opting more towards preventive measures rather than, you know.
But I want to add some more about Prof talking about the supervisor part. But I think that as a maybe internal examiner and also external examiner also, in terms of looking on the rubrics of assessing, maybe the RP and also Viva Voce also need to be relooked, because of I think that there are maybe additional part need to infuse or embedded, because of if you want to address the AI kind of things. I think that is all for me.
I think perhaps if I can add one little thing is, before this our rubric of examination, like say 20 presentation ongoing, then 30 presentation, 50 for outcome. Maybe we can change the presentation 50, the paper 30. The outcome is 30, the presentation should be 50%. Then from there we can see whether do they really know their information. I think if we can change that, I mean that's the rubrics.
Now we are playing the conventional games because of as it is.
Yes.
Maybe this time around we need to kind of maybe a little bit of revisit and
Yes, right.
Right, agree. Great. All right, okay. Thank you so much, our panelists, for today. I would like to express our gratitude to our insightful panelists and engaged audience members. And I believe that this is a very interesting discussion. And the intersection of technology, AI, and language learning is an exciting space. And there are a lot more to discuss, definitely. Right, so thank you so much, our panelists, for being here with us today. I hope we have gained such a fruitful session. So thank you so much. Assalamualaikum, and a very good day ahead to everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Haidar, and thanks to all panelists for that interesting and fruitful session with some very interesting questions addressed by the audience as well. Right? Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we will start the closing ceremony shortly. But before that, let us take a short break and we'll return after. See you soon. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we shall continue with the closing ceremony. But before we proceed, I'd like to remind participants once again to scan the QR code displayed on the screen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now reached the closing ceremony of E-PIC Series 5. Let's all lend our ears and open our hearts to the closing remarks by the director of the program, Mr. Amir Luqman Abdul Rahman.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Head of Center for Postgraduate Studies Research, Associate Professor Dr. Nurhayuza Mohamad, Acting Head of Library for Perpustakaan Tun Abdul Razak, Pitar, UiTM Shah Alam, Technologist Haji Azizi Jantan, Apb Postgraduate Center Coordinators, Committee Members, Members of the Faculty and Pitar, presenters and participants who are with us physically and also virtually. Assalamualaikum and greetings everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, it is sad and with great pleasure that the E-Postgraduate International Colloquium Series 5 has come to an end. I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude to the organizers, both APB and PITA, presenters and participants for their hard work, contributions and participation. From this morning, we have witnessed a range of insightful presentations, engaging discussions, and meaningful interactions in various fields of study. The quality and diversity of the research and ideas presented here are a testament to the intellectual curiosity and academic excellence of our scholars and researchers. Not to mention a very insightful plenary session this morning by Professor Ismi, especially to those who want to venture in the field of linguistic research for postgraduate studies. As well as a wonderful session by our three speakers just now, Professor Melor, Dr. Syamsul, and Dr. Karmila. The forum session provided us a more insightful perspectives on how we should treat AI or technology as a tool to assist in writing, especially for postgraduate studies. We have to keep up with the current trend and not to use it to plagiarize our work. I believe this colloquium has provided a platform for us to exchange knowledge, build networks, and foster collaborations that can lead to impactful outcomes. We hope that the ideas and contexts shared will continue to inspire for future research and initiatives and contribute to the betterment of our societies and the world at large. In this closing, I would like to thank once again everyone involved in making this event a success. Congratulations to all presenters on your outstanding work. Let us continue to build on this momentum and continue walking towards our goals of promoting knowledge in our field. Finally, on behalf of the Academy of Language Studies, Universiti Teknologi Mara, I would like to thank all the participants for making this colloquium a resounding success, and my sincere appreciation to all the committee members who have worked hard to make this event a success. To the postgraduate students, whether you are from APB or other institutions, I wish you all the best. In your journey, in your research, whatever it is, hope, faith, and courage, you need to have all of those to overcome the PhD and also master's hurdles to come to you. To everyone, see you in the next EPIC Series 6, and with that, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amir Luqman. Before we proceed with the next agenda, let us all watch a short montage prepared by the team. Enjoy watching.
My, oh my, what an interesting recap of the whole program. It almost made me want to cry a little.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yes, because the program is at its end. Now, ladies and gentlemen, enough crying. The most anticipated moments have arrived as we will announce the winners for the Best Presenter Awards. We have 4 prizes up for grab, which are Best Presenter Award for English Language Physical, Best Presenter Award for Malay Language Physical, Best Presenter Award for English Language Online, and Best Presenter Award for Malay Language Online. Now, the winner for Best Presenter Award for English Language Physical goes to, drum roll please, Hu Jingbo. Congratulations.
Next, the winner for Best Presenter Award for Malay Language Physical goes to, drumroll please, Fatin Nabila Aziz.
Congratulations, Fatin. Up next, the winner for the Best Presenter Award for English Language Online goes to, drumroll please, Widat Ma. I'm sorry, Ahmad Nazri Jelani.
Finally, the winner for the Best Presenter Award for Malay Language Online goes to Widat Ma.
Congratulations, Widat.
Congratulations to
To
all
all the
winners.
With that, we have now come to the end of the colloquium. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to thank everyone again for being a part of EPIC Series 5. I am sure we have learned a lot of invaluable knowledge and skills from this event. We should also like to apologize for any shortcomings throughout. Honey?
I shall end this session with a quote from Winston S. Churchill. Success is not fatal. Success is not final. Apologize. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts.
Now, before everybody leaves the seminar room, we would like to invite all presenters and participants for a photo session. Our ushers will lead you to the way. After the photo session, I would like to invite all of you for a light refreshments.
Thank you very much, everyone, for participating. We shall see you again in the next series, EPIC Series 6 in 2024, inshallah.
Can't wait.
Bye for now. Assalamualaikum.
See you again.